Please give me a moment while I go live on Facebook. We'll be getting started momentarily here. Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to another weekly edition of the Strategic Swing Trader. I am Sami Abu Saad, Director of Education at T3 Live. Hope you're doing well. Hope your weekend's going great. We're gonna get started by taking a look at the market and going over some swing ideas for next week. But before we start, as always, a standard required disclaimer to let you know that trading is risky and that whatever we discuss is for educational purposes only. If you'd like to download a copy of my free ebook, link for that is in the description below the video. Also in the description of the video, I copied and pasted the watch list, so make sure to check that out and copy and paste it instead of having to type it up from scratch. If you find benefit in today's video, I would appreciate it if you hit that like button. That helps us out quite a bit. Let's go ahead and get started, shall we? So last week we talked about the market. I told you I was bearish. I mentioned the 1, 2, 3 on the weekly chart of the Qs right here rolling over. And I said support would be at 350. We're already there. We're already at 350. Now, that doesn't mean, look, support doesn't mean it's gonna hold prices up all the time. In an uptrend, you expect support to hold, okay, when you get a pullback. But we've lost the uptrend. We at least have one equal to lower high, and then once we broke under the base, that's one lower low. So we've lost the uptrend. We are at the first support area. The next support area would be the 200 MA on the 20 MA on the monthly chart, which I feel certain that we would get to. Will we get to it this week, or would it take, would it be the week after, or I don't know. That I don't know, but I feel certain we will get to that 20 on the monthly. For now, the market is falling hard to support, to that area of support, about 350, 350. 350, 20, 32 is the bottom. We're already there. I can't predict whether we will gap up tomorrow, gap down. Maybe Russia invades Ukraine and, the market views that as really bearish news and we end up with a big gap down. That I can't predict, but what I can predict is when we have a pattern and a setup, and we had that last week. Okay, on the weekly 1, 2, 3, market was rolling over. I also had a prediction about Bitcoin being bearish. I didn't really think the market or Bitcoin would fall as much as they did. Look at Ether, collapsed. By the way, they still look lower, but I am eyeing buying Bitcoin if it got to about the $30,000 area. So you see this area, 29, 30,000. So if we get there, I am thinking about nibbling on some Bitcoin. The thing about Bitcoin, this is the hardest thing ever, which is last time we had a crash, okay, it dropped a huge amount, okay, ended up taking out the 20. We're already at the 20 on the monthly. I need to kind of fix the chart a little bit here. We're already at the 20 on the monthly and maybe even going through it, as you can see on Bitcoin. Are we gonna really crash and come all the way down to that support area around 15,000? I don't know. If this is a real market top if this is a market bubble that we're in and this is just the tip of the iceberg and we're gonna fall 30, 40, 50%, okay, then yeah, Bitcoin will likely take out that support area that I just talked about on the weekly chart at 30,000. And we'll continue on downward. I don't know where to, but the next support area will be around maybe 15,000. That is, that's 14 actually. But so if we're in a bubble and the bubble just bursted and this is just the beginning, then yeah, the support that I just showed you on the weekly chart here at 30,000 will not hold, okay, and we'll just go through it. And the same with the market too. The same with the equities market. Ether is down 50% from the top, and Bitcoin is down 50%. But Ether came down for about $5,000, 48.67. Now it's at 24. Ether has support at wow, at 1700 or so, meaning another $700. So, you know, and then if we look at the monthly on Ether, it's not quite at the 20, but these are big red bars too. I mean, this month is a huge red bar. When you get a big red bar, it usually ends up breaking through the 20, at least a little bit. So I think it will all depend on what ends up happening in the equities market. Again, if this is just the bubble, that we're in a bubble and the bubble just bursted and we're starting the sell-off and we're going to end up with a 40-50% sell-off, then the 20 on the monthly will not hold, you know, and we will probably be looking at 250. But I don't have a crystal ball. I can't make that kind of prediction. I can do it week by week, day by day, okay? And so last week I was correct about the market. This week is harder because, as I said, the move down already played out. We got to support. So this coming week, we're going to have to see whether support holds or we have a more climactic sell-off to the downside, in which case it would probably be interesting, at least. I don't want to say a good idea, but I'm going to be probably looking to go long if the Qs continues down with non-stop, right? If we move up and then we drop, that might not be a buyable event. But if we continue on downward non-stop, you know, big red bars, that should lead to at least a short-term bottom, if not a long-term bottom, at least a short-term bottom, because that would lead to capitulation. Okay, so that's what I'll be looking for, but we'll see. It's not there's no setup right now. We just have a big drop to support, and in this case support will likely fail, but it will really depend on especially tomorrow what we end up getting. Okay, all right, so that's the Qs. The SPY is a similar picture, not as dramatic of a sell-off as we saw in the Qs, but it's a similar picture. Let's take a look at the weekly. Yeah, similar picture. Notice the doji bar, that 1, 2, 3 happened above the 20 on the weekly chart of the SPY, as opposed to the Qs was under the 20. So the SPY is a little bit stronger. I think the fall was from the all-time highs only 8% in the SPY, 11% or so in the Qs. So similar pattern. The SPY is not as weak. All right, on to the swing ideas for at least tomorrow. Admittedly, I don't have a good list for tomorrow, but it's the best that I can find right now. DOGZ. I mentioned it, I don't know if it was in last week's video, that hourly based breakout. I believe it was, but you can go back and take a look. That hourly based breakout right here, it actually worked. Now it has another hourly based breakout. So, and target would be, this would be target 1 for 50, and maybe target 2, the 20 MA on the daily chart. So this would be the entry over the base, stop under it, target 1, and then target 2, wherever the 20 MA is at by the time price catches up to it. So maybe $5. Okay. GFI, gold is starting to look a little bit bullish. If we look at GLD and GDX, it's starting to look more and more bullish. Look at the monthly, starting to want to go back above the 20, but it's still very, very sloppy. The last move up got negated completely. So it's still too early on gold. It's still not easy to tell whether we're really higher or not. GDX, not as good, still has lower highs. You see the lower highs, lower lows. So still in a downtrend. Let's take a look at silver. Silver is like GLD. Similar, at least. So starting to look a little bit bullish. GFI, interesting as a 1, 2, 3, 4 pattern. The entry would be over 1127. The stop would be under 1087. And then target 1 would be the prior high. Target 2, not sure. But that would be the target 1, around 1175 or so. KPTI, impressive strength. Impressive strength given the weakness in the market. So it doesn't have a setup. It had a setup last week, or on Wednesday or so, as a buy setup. It already triggered on Thursday, but doesn't have a setup going into tomorrow. But I just like the bullishness, so I'm just going to keep an eye on the KPTI. OVV is oil, and while I feel USO may be topping out, it's actually it's hard to tell because it could be topping out, but it never really accelerated, never went climactic. Okay, but at any rate, OVV is a daily buy setup, so long over 37.78, stop under 35.43. Again, long over 37.78, stop under 35.43, and target one would be the prior high around maybe 42. Let's take a look. 41. PIK is okay. It's showing a little bit of strength. It got bought the last few days as opposed to the market crashed. If we get a base breakout, that would be nice, and then stop under 560. So entry over the base, stop under 560. TASK, that, my friends, is a climactic buy setup. Okay, that's a pretty drastic drop, 50% drop in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days or so. Got the bottoming tail bar, the climactic volume, and now has a doji bar. So above it long, which is 30.32, stop under Thursday's low, which is 26.50. That's a big stop. And target one would be, I would say, maybe around 37 or so, and target two around 40. But it will all, everything that I'm talking about here will all depend on the market. None of it, I mean, none of these plays might even trigger if the market ends up gapping down and selling off tomorrow. Volt, VOLT, I guess I don't really like it. I just like the monthly on this. Beautiful monthly buy setup. So I'm going to be watching this for a pullback next week, this week. And then if I get a buy setup here, then play it, okay? I only do this video once a week, so a lot happens during the week. And so I just share with you some of the items that I'll be watching, and this is one of them that's not quite ready at all, but if it comes in and gives me a buy setup, then I'll be interested in it because it's got a beautiful, beautiful monthly chart. Wells Fargo is like OVV. Is a pullback to the rising 20, so I like it over 55. Stop under 53.13, target 58 or so. It's a daily buy setup. The bearish list, because the market has already dropped a lot, there's not much, I mean, everything is too late. A bunch of plays triggered short recently, so if you took them, nice job. They were on the list, okay? But there's not much left that is not too late already, okay? So that's the issue. ALGS, not too late. Under the base, stop above it. The problem with this is that it's not a flat base, it's more of a slanted base, number one. Number two is, I feel if the market pops, this will easily stop out. But I still like it under 295, 296, stop over under 295, stop over 342, stop over 341. So under the base, under the hourly base, stop above it. AMH is a 1, 2, 3. So short under this bar's low, stop above it, and target the prior low right here, around 38 bucks. So not a lot of room to go still, but maybe about $1 or so. Yeah, about $1. DYN is more of an hourly base breakdown. So short under the base, stop above it. Not too bad, but not too good either. Again, I don't have a great list this week, but hopefully it will improve in the coming day or two. Okay, all right, that's it for today. I'm gonna be watching Bitcoin and Ether and other crypto that I like, crypto coins. They're flagged, the ones that I like. Here they are. I've already flagged them. So I'll be oh, I'm sorry, you don't see the flagged items here. You should be able to see them now. Yeah, there you go. Should be able to see them. So I have a few things that I'm watching, as you can see, more than a few, several. Yeah, so that's the only thing that I'm interested in for now, and then we'll see how the market plays out tomorrow. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Hope these videos are helpful somewhat. If you have any questions for us, be sure to reach out to customer service, info@t3live.com. Again, info@t3live.com. With that said, I'm Sami Abu Saad, Director of Education at T3 Live. Good trading, everybody. Take care.